Hi there guys, welcome to another wine review by myself, the Natural Sommelier. I hope you're keeping well and safe and drinking some deliciously awesome grape juice as usual. Today we are going to be heading all the way to the Languedoc. Now for those who don't know, the Languedoc is a ginormous region that effectively straddles the whole of the south of France on the Mediterranean coast, okay? It comprises of many different sub-regions and a huge diversity in styles of wine. One thing that I really like, however, about the Languedoc more than anything is that you can find exceptionally good value. Sort of red wines, white wines, rosé, and sweet, and even some sparkling wines as well from that part of France, and it's definitely worth looking into. If you like a very particular style of dry white wine, maybe your Chablis or a Sancerre, and you want to try something a little bit different, then I'd highly recommend giving it a go. Today, we are going to be heading to the region in the Languedoc of Picpoul de Pinet. Picpoul de Pinet is a region very well known for its dry, zesty styles of white wine. Okay, these styles of white wine are normally really affordable. And as I say, they hardly see any oak, they're usually very fruit driven, and they are usually utterly delicious. And as we're coming into sort of spring and summer and stuff like that here in the UK, it's definitely worth looking into, as I say, if you want to try something perhaps a little bit different. We're going to be tasting the 2020 vintage of the Christophe Muret Picpoul de Pinet. So Christophe Muret was once the biggest exporter of, ironically, melons in France, apparently selling over 1 million a year to the UK, which is quite remarkable. He originally lived in the Moussac, which was very famous for its chasselas eating grapes. Chasselas is a little white grape variety, for those who don't know. And he effectively one day decided, you know what, enough is enough, I don't want to do this anymore. And he effectively moved all the way down to Picpoul de Pinet. Okay, he set up his own wine making domain here, and as I say, he doesn't make a huge amount of wine, which I really like. His enthusiasm for his vines and for sustainability and for a sort of minimalist intervention in his winemaking is really cool. So in many ways, he is actually practicing organic. He's just not entirely, he's not actually certified. And it's really interesting and really exciting to see. So let's have a little taste of this and see what we think. Oops. Now, the thing I find with a lot of Picpoul de Pinet, don't know if you guys have ever tasted it, I find a lot of Picpoul de Pinet for me can be very bland. There's not really a lot going on there, so I'm really hoping that this one's going to be a little bit more exuberant. I haven't tried this before, this particular producer before, and a little bit more sort of aromatic, if you like, in style. But the first thing you see, it's got that lovely sort of, it's like almost a straw lemon kind of colour to it, with some steely sort of tinges in there as well. There's a little bit of viscosity coming through on the side of the glass as well. But let's have a little sniff and see what we think. So yeah, there's lots of fresh fruits on there, lots of sort of, lots of fresh sort of peaches and apricots and nectarines and things like that. I'm also getting lots of, orchard fruit coming through as well. Lots of sort of fresh apples and fresh green pears and stuff like that as well. There's a little bit of a lemon rind, lemon zest aroma coming through as well, which is quite pleasing. There's a little bit of a floral aroma. Lots of sort of yellow roses and yellow tulips and stuff like that. Lots of petals and what have you. It's quite interesting, actually. It's quite sort of yeasty. There's almost a slight sort of biscuity-esque character. Now, the wine hasn't seen any form of oak, so I'm not getting any oak, which is quite nice. It means that the wine is just very fresh and very fragrant. It's not overpowering any of that fruit at all. And it's just a very clean, pleasantly fragrant style of white wine, actually. Yeah. There's a lot of minerality, however, coming through as well. Lots of sort of wet rocks and things like that. Let's have a taste. have to say I think it's one of the better Picpoul de Pinet I've tried. I think it's a style of Picpoul de Pinet, you know, that's a great crowd pleaser. It's very dry. It has a medium body. The acidity is relatively high but not overpowering. The fruit is just lingering there on the palate. There's a little bit of a bitterness on the finish as well, which I quite like. And as I say, I'm getting all of those lovely, ripe, super fresh fruit characters that I got on the nose. I'm getting them on the palate as well. But it also has this lovely, as I say, slightly tart, bitter character on the palate as well, which I really enjoy. I think it's a very pleasant wine, to be honest. I think it's, you know, as I say, as we're coming into sort of spring and summer like that here in the UK. Not that we get a lot of sun here in the UK, I might add, but it's that style of wine. I think as you're sitting out in your garden, you're enjoying, you know, the birds singing and the flowers and all this kind of stuff. It's that kind of wine. As I say, it's available from Carte Blanche Wines. .com, and it's available for £13, and I think for £13 actually for a style of Picpoul de Pinet of this nature, I think actually it's really good. I've tasted a lot of Picpoul de Pinet over the years and a lot of it hasn't been very good. I think this is a really great example of actually what can be done when you don't interfere so much in the winemaking process. And you know, both in the vineyard and in the winery itself, and as I say, it's a very tasty wine and highly recommended getting hold of. The ABV, apologies, is 12.5%. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. You can't really feel it on the back of the palate or anything. But as I say, it's just a very fun, fresh, fragrant style of white wine and highly recommended if you want to try something a little bit different. As I say, however, don't forget to follow myself at The Natural Sommelier here on Instagram, and to also check out my website, thenaturalsommelier.com, where you can find all of my latest articles, wine reviews, and much more coming up there over the next few weeks. Okay, and don't forget to also click on that subscribe button. However, until next time, guys, cheers.